Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to multiply and divide decimals by powers of 10. Okay, so let's first discuss what is a power of 10. A power of 10 could be any number that is an exponent of 10. So 10 is a power of 10. 100 is a power of 10, 1000 is a power of 10, and so on. But we're going to focus just mainly on these three. Guess what, everybody? Mr. Romeo doesn't limbo. What?
Every limbo boy and girl all around the limbo world gonna do the limbo rock all around the limbo clock.
What could this possibly have to do with multiplying and dividing decimals? Well, here we go. If you remember, Mr. Romeo doesn't limbo, the Mr. Romeo stands for multiply, right, and the doesn't limbo stands for divide, left. So let's start with multiplication. Multiply right. When multiplying by a power of 10, move the decimal point to the right. Number 1, count the number of zeros in the power of 10. Number 2, move the decimal to the right that amount. You may need to add zeros. Okay, let's look at an example. If we have 4.8 times 10. First, I have 1 0 in 10, so that means I'm going to move my decimal one place to the right. So here's my decimal, I move it one place to the right, so my answer then ends up being 48. My number got larger. That's a good thing. Next thing, let's say we had 4.8 times 100. I look over at my 100, I have 2 zeros. That means I need to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. So actually, let's start here. Okay, my decimal point was in between the 4 and the 8. So now I'm going to move it one place. And in this case, I do need to add a 0 so that I can move it another place. So therefore, my answer, 4.8 times 100, is 480. One more. Let's do 4.8 times 1,000. I have 3 zeros, so therefore I'm going to move my decimal 3 places. My decimal started here, so 1, I have to add a 0, 2, I have to add another 0, 3. So my answer, 4.8 times 1,000, is 4,800. Okay, let's try a couple more. Let's say we have 0.25 times not times 5. I don't want that. I want it to be times 10. My brain got ahead of me a little bit. So let's multiply this by 10. I have 1 0, so that means I need to move my decimal one place to the right, and therefore I have 2.5. Let's look at, 0.734 times 100. I have 2 places. That means my decimal point moves 2 places to the right. I jumped over 2 numbers, and I have 73.4. All right, let's look at our next situation, which is division. We're going to divide left. You're going to count the number of zeros in the power of 10, just like before, and this time you're going to move the decimal to the left that amount. You may have to add zeros, but this time we're going to add them on the left-hand side. So if I have 4.8 divided by 10, again I have 1 0, so I'm going to be moving my decimal place one place to the left. So here it is, one place to the left. So my answer becomes 0.48, or you could say 0.48 if you'd like. If we have 4.8 divided by 100, again, now I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to need to move my decimal 2 places to the left. Here's 1, Oh, I need another place. So this is where I add my 0 so that I can jump again. So my answer will become 0.048 or 0.048 if you like to put the 0 in there to hold the place for the whole numbers. Finally, 4.8 divided by 1,000. 3 zeros, 3 places we're going to move. 1, add a 0. 2, add a 0. 3. So our answer becomes 0.0048. All right, let's try again. Let's say we have 52 divided by 10. Oh, I need to move my decimal 1 place. Uh-oh, where's my decimal? Remember, every whole number has a decimal to the right of the number. Okay, think about money. I could say I have $52, or I could say I have $52.00. So the decimal is always there. So now I need to move my decimal 1 place to the left, and therefore my answer becomes 5.2. Let's look at 24.3 divided by 100. I have 2 zeros, so that means I need to move 2 places to the left. 1, 2, and my answer becomes 0.243. One last one. Let's do 1.5 divided by 100. Again, 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So I have to add my 0 there, and my answer becomes 0.015. So when you're multiplying and dividing decimals, remember Mr. Romeo doesn't limbo. But before you go do your math, why don't you go limbo?
Jack go under limbo stick, all around the limbo clock. Hey, let's do the limbo rock. Limbo lower now. Limbo lower now. How low can you go? First you spread your limbo feet, then you move to limbo beat.